Hey guys, so I don't know if you know, but I have been learning to speak French. Learning French, obviously not just speaking, but learning French in general for a goal that me and my partner want to achieve by next year. And recently, how this ties in very well to the topic that I want to discuss with you on this talk, which is wanting to give up. And basically, we've been learning French on an online platform called Lingoda, which is absolutely amazing. If anyone wants to learn French, I think they do Spanish and German as well, and English, but if you don't need English, but you might do. They do all sorts of different languages to learn, so I definitely recommend it. And we've been doing a class every morning because we have a really large goal that we have to achieve by next year. And recently on some of the classes, I noticed that sometimes on a class I'm really confident and I feel like I know a lot of it, I can understand it, it clicks, I kind of just get it. And then sometimes there's some classes where I don't understand it, and it'll be like, say, 15 to 20 minutes into the class and I'll realise, oh, I don't understand a lot of this material. And what was happening was on those classes, I'd start to feel really down and low, and I'd start to kind of shut down and my whole body would just want to close, like it just wouldn't want to be there anymore. So I wouldn't speak as much, I would participate, but I wouldn't be as open and as verbal as I would in the other classes where I felt like I understood a lot. And what was happening was I decided to do an inner bonding process because I realised there's something not right there, and it was making me doubt my ability as to whether I should, continue, whether I should give up or whether I should continue. So I did an inner bonding process and I realised that I was actually judging myself massively during these classes where I didn't understand something or I didn't understand a lot of the lesson. It wasn't just like a little bit, it was quite a lot of the lesson that I didn't understand, or I just wasn't getting it. It was, I just really wasn't understanding the de, the do, the de la, de, l'apostrophe. I wasn't understanding these things, and I wasn't understanding different vocabulary on the lesson. So I was judging myself, and there was judgments coming up like, you're not good enough, you're never going to learn this language, what's the point, you might as well give up now. And I'm also learning with my partner, and he is a learner as well, but he does speak Arabic, so he has another language, and he can pronounce things that I can't, that I find really difficult, like the R's, the rolling of the R's, the G, I find it really difficult. So when we're speaking in French or trying to communicate in French, I also started to compare myself, and I'd shut down in those moments, and I really didn't want to be shutting down in these moments because I want to learn and I wanted to grow, but there was like another part of me that was trying to give up, like saying, no, don't do it, don't go any further. And that was because my wounded self was in control and was judging me as not good enough and not being, amazing at French. This is one of the things where we really need to not judge ourselves, because sometimes when we want to give up on something, whether it's a sport or a language or whatever it is that we're doing, a relationship, for example, it could be not because we don't want to do it anymore, but because we're judging ourselves that we're doing it wrong, or that we're going to fail, or that we're not good enough. And all these judgments can push us in the direction of giving up on what we really want. So it's very important to be aware. And like I said, when I was in the lesson, I didn't know these judgments were even there. I just felt I physically changed. And also my body language changed. So in the lessons where I understood everything and I got it, I was very open, you know, very verbal, talking, because we can see each other we do it on Zoom, so we can see the teacher. So I was very open, very talkative, very communicative. And then on the lessons where I didn't understand as much, in the beginning I would be fine, and then something would change, and I'd just go like this. And I'd speak and I'd participate, but I'd be very closed, and my body language was very closed, and I wasn't as open as I was in the other lessons. And that's how I noticed it, and that's why I went to do an inner bonding process, to find out what the issue was. And that's when I knew that I'd been judging myself, and I found out all these judgments that I didn't even know were there. So I'd highly recommend, if you ever want to give up on something, or you feel like giving up on something, then definitely do an inner bonding process to find out why. Maybe you are judging yourself, and if you are, then this is where grace comes in, and patience, because we all have to give ourselves grace to be a learner in anything. And it doesn't matter if you have been playing a sport for 30 years, like someone like Michael Jordan, for example, been playing basketball years, and then one day he has a rubbish game. It doesn't mean he should give up. It doesn't mean that he shouldn't be on the court playing. It doesn't mean that he's not good enough. It just means that maybe he needs to go in the gym more, or maybe he just had an off day, you know, maybe there was something on his mind and he wasn't quite on it, or maybe there was another player on the court that brought their game a bit harder. It doesn't mean that you have to give up, but we do tend to judge ourselves a lot, and that can really contribute to wanting to give up on something. So I highly recommend that you do an inner bonding process and be very patient if it is because you're judging yourself, and not because you genuinely don't want to do it and you want to, you know, you just don't enjoy it, because that could be a thing. But if it's because if it's something else, once you do the inner bonding process, you find out that it's a judgment or there's a false belief there, then I highly recommend that you be very patient with yourself and very loving towards yourself, because judging yourself isn't loving and it isn't going to help. And obviously this is a goal that you want to achieve, so you need to be compassionate with yourself in order to get rid of those judgments, because the opposite of judgment is compassion. So that's my little nugget for today, because I just felt that it was something that I was really struggling with, and I feel like a lot of people probably struggle with this when they're learning something new, or you know, they're going through something and they feel like I should just give up. Well, don't give up on yourself. Keep going. Do an inner bonding process. Be compassionate. Give yourself grace and be patient with yourself.